I want to start with that this does include SA and can be triggering. I come from a big family. Me, 35F, and all my siblings, 3 brothers and 2 sisters, are close, love and support each other deeply. Relationship with parents has been active, I see them often. I have 4 kids, 3 girls and a boy ranging from 17-9Y. My family has been involved heavily in my kids' lives from the beginning. It isn't uncommon for a sibling to take my older 2 kids for an outing or even for a weekend/week. They'll do things like skating, surfing, rock climbing, hiking, trail running, camping, biking, etc. It's been really amazing to have my siblings be so involved with my kids. Things really crashed down almost 3 months ago when one of my children told me that my brother, her uncle, 37, SA her on an outing. I'm not going into detail, but it was severe. She told me not long after it happened. I called the police and pressed charges. It was a stressful investigation. He was arrested and we are going through a criminal court process. I told my sisters and one of my brothers the same day I made the initial report to police, but I kept it a secret from my parents because I didn't want to risk the offender being tipped off. That first month was emotional hell for me. I went through many conflicting emotions. I started off with rage, but I eventually fell into pleading for it to not be true and mourning this person I thought I knew. Even asking myself, is there a possibility that he has some kind of brain tumor? This isn't the person I know. But I will say that though I was going through an internal emotional roller coaster, I never lost sight of my action plan. I was very focused on the investigation. I mean, my actions were a stark contrast of what I was feeling. When it came to an action plan, I was a machine, and I set the stage for an arrest to be made. Although the arrest was my goal, it was still devastating for me. I had a breakdown that day I got the call that he was arrested. I had a panic attack. Even though what he did was heinous, I still struggled with imagining him in jail and scared, knowing he just lost everyone and everything. Seeing his name, stats and charges on the county jail record online was a step further into making it real. It took a little while for my emotions to match 100% with my action plan. I'm so glad that my emotional feelings now matches the goal I've been pursuing. I have mostly, if not fully, processed that my brother is a monster, and I no longer have any lingering affection for him. As soon as I got the call from the detective that he had been picked up and on the way to the jail, I went straight to my parents to tell them before my brother or his GF could call them. They believed my daughter immediately, and understandably were broken-hearted about their son. They are so hurt for their grandchild. However, they've made it clear they will not leave their son, saying, "I cannot abandon any of my children. I just don't have it in me." The morning after the arrest, they bailed him out of jail and then got him an attorney, so he would have better defense than a public defender. It's been about 7 weeks since the arrest. Since then they have kept out of the court process and don't talk about it. They don't even want to think about it. I've been trying to understand their point of view. He is their child too. I've gone through my own process of screaming and crying how he could do this to me, to my child. It was incredibly hard to picture this person I loved and trusted my whole life as being this monster. I get it. I understand how hard it has to be for my parents to fully accept this reality. The offender has war-related PTSD and depression, and he discontinued psych meds abruptly. He is claiming this is what caused his behavior. I looked into these meds and asked several mental health professionals about this claim. My takeaway is that it was BS. My parents, on the other hand, are buying into it, that this is a mental illness and not his fault. They're in denial. My siblings and their children have easily but painfully decided to cut the perp out of their life, so I don't have any worries there. Their support solely lies on my daughter and I, and what I need to do. The first thing I said to my sisters when they answered my video call was, "Please don't leave me," because I really didn't know who could stand by my side as I prosecuted our brother. And all of my siblings have stood by my side through every step. I don't think I would have succeeded without their support, help, advice. However, my parents have made it clear they are not cutting him out of their life. They think they can somehow support both of their children through this. They're old, lonely, and I acknowledge they're suffering, their family falling apart. I know the emotional toll this is taking on them, and maybe having to handle emotions so deep at their age is too much. They have told me that I did the right thing and that I did what I had to do. They say they support me, and they are so torn up about what my daughter suffered. They keep saying, "What happened to him? What happened to him to be like this?" They're having a hard time, and it's really a devastation for everyone. My mom told me she is depressed. My parents look like they've aged so much in the past few weeks. To be honest, I was terrified that they would have heart attacks when I told them what was happening. I was mentally preparing to have to plan funerals while pursuing a conviction. My parents aren't perfect, but they've always supported me. I was a teen mom, they help with childcare so I could go through school and work. My kids are bonded to them. I seem to be the only person seriously considering dropping them. I don't want to cut my parents out in their last years and take that away from my children, but I can't stand the idea of being connected to anyone who remains connected to that monster. Even the victim wants to see her grandparents, knowing they won't abandon their son. She doesn't like that they won't cut him out, but she said she is okay to keep seeing her grandparents. Am I even the slightest bit wrong in cutting them out, even if it means severing it for my kids too? Is it awful to abandon your elderly parents? I've been raised with a strong duty to family mindset, that you take care of your parents as they age. Everyone in my life says they don't know, they understand both my feelings and my parents' limitations. Would it be better to give them an ultimatum? Me and my family or him? I'm so scared if I add any more to the stress on them it will really kill them. If the victim wants to stay connected to them, should I suck it up and continue with the contact? At what point am I being selfish and unreasonable against everyone else's feelings? Just wanted to add that my primary focus is about my daughter. I'm not mentioning her really, because my question isn't about her, and her condition isn't up for discussion. I don't want the offender or his supporting fiancé to read things about how my child is doing, or what is going on with my family at home considering the active case. By the way, my brother's fiancé is the only person who called my daughter a liar, stating that I would have some indication that he was like this. There would be red flags. This comes from a girl who was raised by a therapist, and she called my daughter a liar even after I told her that there was a recorded confession. There's no question about it. Disgusting. Just be assured that everything is being handled at home for the victim. My husband and I got her. My family is suffering, but we are strong. There's no confusion about that and what needs to be done. We are fighting like hell for justice, even if I'm screaming and dying inside the whole way. My confusion is only about cutting my parents out of my family's life for maintaining contact with the offender. And believe me, he is guilty. I don't even need a conviction to know it. My parents also know he is guilty.